Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton with Big C. This is Charlton and Big C Sports coming to you worldwide on the iHeartRadio network, the number one network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the number one sports show in the universe, according to Big C and them good old boys down south. I want to say bienvenidos to all of our listeners in Latin America, also across the pond in London, England, as well as Paris, France. And also you good old boys up in Canada. You know, we have some Frankie Beverly in the background because one of the best entertainers in the history of the world, actually in the history of the universe, Big C, Frankie Beverly, by the look in your eyes. Man, I just want to sing the national anthem to Canada to that song. Whoa, Canada, our home. Man, I choke because I'm not used to performing on stage with Frankie Beverly, Big C. I know how them good old boys felt when they had to perform with him, but there's still no one I love more than them good old boys down south and the land of the free and the home of the brave. Big C, how's it going for you good old boys?
Well, I'm kind of confused on that last line with the native land. I'm not Charlton that really crossed over the barrier here. This is why you can't always do the show in the privacy of your home and garage.
Yeah.
Gotta get out and do some live remote with clothes on.
That is so funny. You know.
Down here today, Charlton, you don't need no clothes. It's 93 degrees, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Weather like this is tough on the fat guy.
Yeah, it'd be tough on Rush Limbaugh. And speaking of fat guy, you know, today is May 19th, 2017. I heard some good old boys. They actually had Rush Limbaugh talking, and he was giving his ideas on what's happening with Donald Trump. It's like Rush can't read that Putin already says he has the transcripts. He's still trying to defend Donald Trump, and Putin's already dropped the bag because he has the transcripts of the conversation in the White House. Man, I'm just telling you, so much going on in the world of sports. Them good old boys, the Golden State Warriors, they're at it again tonight. This time they're down south, kind of in your neck of the woods, Big C, playing down in the great state of Texas. I think they fed them a lot of moonshine and barbecue. They might be a bit sluggish getting out. But we have the Predators. They're all happy about what's happening in the NHL. Baseball swinging the bat very heavy, Big C. We have the Amgen Bicycle Tour going throughout Northern California. Them good old boys, you want to get in shape, you got to ride a bicycle, Big C. The Amgen Tour, very amazing. A lot of good athletes doing that. But, Big C, I want to get your thoughts a little bit about what's going on. We got to just save the world of POTUS because I can't get away from Donald Trump and people defending him except for some of the smart guys that are walking away from him, Big C. Your thoughts?
You got to take that on my Harley and let his hair flow in the wind a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, the thing that I've found most ironic, Charlton, since he's been in the White House, okay?
Yeah.
Is that you always have these leaks, okay?
Yeah.
Now, this last meeting that he had with the Russians, there were basically 3 Americans in the room.
Yeah.
Okay? There was Trump, there was Pence, and there was McMaster.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, the leaks that came from the Russians are one of those 3.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, and what's ironic about the leaks about Trump, every time there's a leak about it, he happens to be in the same damn room.
Isn't that something?
I don't know if anybody's put that together.
Yeah.
But every time there's a leak about Trump, he happens to be in that room that the leak comes from, and not only does the leak come from there, but then the tweet falls.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think America needs to understand that Trump is self-publicizing himself. Maybe he's trying to intentionally get out of the White House.
Man, it seems like this.
He will still wear the title of president his entire life.
Yeah.
It will just be former president. So he will be awarded all the luxuries the rest of his life that any former president would receive, Charles.
Well, Big C is
maybe that's what he's looking at more than anything else.
I tell you, it's a crazy world out there, and no matter what you do, what I love about sports is sports brings everybody together. I see even Stephen A. Smith going on Fox News. I said, wait, hold on. I thought I was watching ESPN. Stephen A. Smith is on Fox News this week, Big C. I hear a lot of good old boys, even here in the Bay Area, these sports stations, they're trying to bring on a political expert, Big C. They can't do it themselves like Big C does it. They always bring in some guy that works in media or that works in the political side of the media, Big C, and have him on for 10 minutes to get his thoughts on what's going on in the world. And I even want to just say that I heard over here in the Northern California, in the Bay Area, there's one of the top stations. They call themselves the sports leader, Big C. they had this guy on from the Seattle Seahawks because there's talk that Colin Kaepernick may just sign with the Seattle Seahawks. Well, truth of the matter is, the Seahawks organization would love to have him because he's a bigger version of, Russell Wilson. They played each other in some great games up in Seattle, and that's when both teams had great coaches. The one thing that's changed is Kaepernick doesn't have the coach that knew how to control an offense the way Pete Carroll does. But I want to get your thoughts on this. Some of the Bay Area media was still saying, because they're ignorant, obviously, that Colin Kaepernick did to stand up for the troops. And the guy from Seattle, which is a smaller market, a less educated market, I'm not going to say less educated, but a smaller market, his name is Dave, I won't say his last name, but he said, wait a minute, and this is a white guy. This had nothing to do with the troops. He was standing up against police brutality, part of the Black Lives Matter movement. And I just think it's ironic that in a Bay Area town, when you have, I think the number 4 media market in the country, you have some knuckleheads that still won't tell the truth as to why he stood up for Black Lives Matter. Big C, they made it a problem because he stood up and called attention to police brutality. Big C, your thoughts?
Well, Charlton, it's always been a part of society that when you look out there and you see what the obvious is,
yeah,
and you don't want to point it out because you're a part of it, okay?
Yeah,
you're a representative of what the obvious is. The inconsistencies in American society.
Yeah,
where one sect of society is really set apart from the other.
Yeah.
And racism is abounding in those scenarios when they say Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
That was atrocities committed by many police departments across America, and I really mean it by atrocities.
Yeah.
And it still goes on today. I don't recall at any point seeing any troops since 1968 going out killing Americans in America, okay?
No.
When they used to call out the National Guard.
On Black Americans, right? Yeah.
And they were killing African Americans then, Charlton.
Yeah.
But when you look at what has occurred here in the new millennium, since 2010, that everyone is starting to protest about, thanks to Apple and Samsung,
yeah,
with the iPhone and the Galaxy phones,
yeah,
that everybody has an instant movie studio in their hand.
Yeah.
Is that you can't hide things from the American public any longer. You can't put in a false police report and hope that it stands because no one witnesses you. You got a dozen producers sitting around videotaping what you just did live.
Yeah.
So we're to use that he did not stand up for the troops. Donald Trump didn't stand up for the troops, Charles.
No, he avoided the troops.
He had 6 deferments from Vietnam, okay?
Yeah.
People want to sit up there and Donald Trump want to blast Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
Ask Donald Trump when did he sign up for voluntary enlistment. He dodged the draft 6 times.
He said
the Vietnam era. Donald Trump, the guy who's commander-in-chief. So don't sit there and let Donald Trump have enough credence to say that somebody went up against the truth.
Yeah.
Ask Donald Trump how many troops he's had killed since he became commander-in-chief. There's no need to be sending people into harm's way.
Yeah. And
he's been knocking off at least one a week.
Yeah, it wasn't.
He was the commander-in-chief, but nobody's saying anything about that.
And what's it called?
Did he go out there and fight? No, Charlton.
No, he didn't fight. I think he dropped what's called the mother of all bombs, as if he's tough. But when he had the chance to sign up and put his body where his mouth is, he ran. He ran faster than Usain Bolt. Speaking of running fast, I want to say this segment is sponsored by your Northern California Cadillac dealers, home of the all-new Cadillac Escalade, the standard of the world. And when you go by and test drive yours, tell them that Charlton and Big C sent you. Also, Big C, we know that Cadillac makes the best cars in the universe, but I want to get on some things down with the Predators, with the NHL. It's amazing that you have the Anaheim Mighty Ducks and the shootout overtime with Anaheim. There's so many great things happen in the world of sports. Hockey, as good as hockey is still undervalued in the United States of America. Talk about hockey and the good old boys from up north that we always sing the national anthem to, their favorite sport. Big C, your thoughts?
When you think about that game last night, Charles, with the Predators and the Ducks, you know, in the 59th minute, you know, the Predators were able to tie that game.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
I mean, just a great competitive game. You know, and Anaheim, fortunately enough for themselves, wanted an overtime with a deflected shot that snuck through the goalie's post. But, you know, this is just how competitive hockey is. I mean, we haven't seen one competitive semifinal game in the NBA yet.
Yeah,
okay? Of the 3 games that have been played, I mean, the average margin of victory has to be up around 18 points a game right now.
Yeah.
So when you think about hockey, coming down to overtime, and it's sudden death in hockey with overtime. It's like baseball. You hit a home run, it's all over.
Yeah.
That goal wins it in overtime, and these guys are fighting competitively, Charlton, out there on that ice. Battling, speed, all of that. And so it was a great game. It was a great game for the NHL.
Yeah.
It was a great game for Nashville. That they can put on such a show in front of the home crowd like that.
Yeah.
But unfortunately for them, Ottawa walks away, and I guess a little bit of that singing "Old Canada" by you helped them out a little bit.
Yeah. I tell you, people might.
Also, it could have been that they were trying to get as far away from your singing as normal.
That might be what I heard also, Big C. But you might laugh at my singing of the Canadian national anthem. I'm doing my best. Just like we tell young kids, you keep trying. I think it was Lee Iacocca said, you lead, follow, or get out of the way. Well, not only have I heard the Canadian national anthem, the first two lines of it on Big C Sports, I heard another sports show trying to sing the same thing, so I know sometimes people tend to follow behind what we do, but I'm going to get better at it because I got some good old boys trying to compete with my version of the Canadian national anthem. And speaking of my version of also things going on, down there in the good old boys South, the great state of Texas, with Coach Popovich, I'm going to call him the number one conscious coach in the universe, talking about things that POTUS is doing, and also how he believes in the stance for all people to have equality and freedom, Big C, is bigger than Kaepernick. I think even when we go back to some good old boys in the Bay Area, they just happen to be Caucasian, okay? They're one of the top stations in the Northern California, and I did some work back in the day with them, early back in the mid-'90s. You can count the number of African Americans that work at that station on about 3 fingers, Big C. Okay, 3 fingers because they don't have enough that go in one hand. And 3 fingers, but they'll put these people up there in the market that covers the team. And they'll try to say that they're so insensitive to the cause of black Americans, even though if black Americans didn't play the sport, they wouldn't have the money coming through the organizations that they have to this day. But still, some of these good old boys can easily get a job where they won't hire the black guy. Colin Kaepernick, his cause was also mentioned about a half a century earlier in the Kerner report. But would you believe that he's also, I think, donated his jersey to the African-American Smithsonian, Big C? Donald Trump would never do that, and neither will the knuckleheads in the Bay Area media, Big C. Your thoughts, if you can speak up on that.
Well, you think about that, and his jersey was donated today actually by Harry Edwards. Harry Edwards had the jersey from Colin Kaepernick that he had given to Harry Edwards as a memento because he's been such a social activist his entire professional career. He's been a professor emeritus at the University of Cal over there in Berkeley. Yeah. But Harry Edwards, just like Colin Kaepernick had taken a stance, and it was an honor for Harry Edwards to have possession of this. Now he's going to be immortalized. You think about this. All those people who lambasted Colin Kaepernick, Colin Kaepernick is now going to be immortalized in the National Museum of the African American History in Washington, D.C. forever. Yeah. Okay? So this is how important that stance was that Colin Kaepernick made. It's going to go right there with Tommy Hines and, with the fist raising at the 68 Olympics. Yeah. It's going to be put at that level with Muhammad Ali, the greatest of all time of athletes. Yeah. People who were significant, Jackie Robinson in African American history. He's going to be right along with those sports figures that meant so much to the growth of African American society. Yeah. But those people who blasted Colin Kaepernick because they knew what Colin Kaepernick was doing and saying was the truth, and it hurt them. Yeah. People who are evil turn away from the truth. Yeah. Donald Trump will prove that to everybody. Oh, yeah. He's constantly turning away from the truth. I listened to him yesterday talk, Charlton, and he said that there was nobody in his political campaign, neither he nor the Russians, that colluded. Yeah. He said he or the Russians. Yeah. So he didn't say anybody else. He said that he knew of it was him and the Russians. Yeah. That had not colluded. Yeah. Okay? But he didn't say no one else had. Yeah. So he admitted by saying that other people within his campaign and party had colluded with the Russians. Yeah. But, honesty is all we ever seek out, Charlton, in American society. Yeah. We try to give it nightly in our sports show. Yeah. I think I dropped my papers on the floor, so I might be... You must be working for the sports leader, Big C. And what we do, is be
Yeah.
Do we appeal to everybody?
No, don't want to.
People sometimes, yes.
Yeah.
Are we trying not to be pacifists all the time? You know, but what we do is like what you tell them, Charlton. Google what we say.
Yeah.
You don't believe us.
Yeah.
And if we're wrong, please let us know that we're wrong. We appreciate that. We appreciate all criticism. We appreciate all respect. But what we appreciate the most, Charlton, is that people listen to us.
Yeah.
And people find solace in what we say. Because we bring that different level of intelligence, of knowledge, of intuition.
Yeah.
That other people don't get.
And Big C, I love to say this because you do it from a boat down south, Big C. You're not some big studio. I mean, sometimes maybe they let you in when they give out the free food.
I haven't got my tag.
Okay, I'm sorry. You know how you good old boys down south to get down. But I just want to say, because I know so many people in media over the years, and I've had people be fair to me and open doors, black and white. I'm so proud of some of the white men and women that have helped me in my past, because they said, you know what, there's bigotry in our society. Some people have dumb parents. And when two dumb parents get together, they tend to become racist. And they oftentimes will have offspring because they drink a lot of beer and they have a kid. And they'll raise that same kid to be a dumb, ignorant person the same way they are. And there's some people in the society that will say nothing about it. But usually there's a lot of smart people. That's why when I hear a dumb person on the air in the Bay Area, it just surprises me that some of these stations that call themselves a sport leader will hire ignorant people unless they believe them themselves. I want to bring up this point because I'm not a sycophant. What I love so much about Coach Kerr is not the fact that he's a great coach for the Golden State Warriors, not the fact that he has a championship, not the fact that he learned a lot of coaching on the great, Greg Popovich. And also he had some coaching back from the greatest player in the game, arguably Michael Jordan, at least of our time. He saw what affected black men when they took off the jersey. These knuckleheads in the Bay Area, they act as if, they can't wait to kiss your butt when they want the interview. And they all will love and get up in your face and want to act like they like you. And as soon as you don't have that jersey, you're just another black guy to these guys. And I'm telling the truth because I've been a part of that Bay Area sycophants media with the sports leader. And the fact of the matter is, Coach Kerr, who happens to be Caucasian last I checked, I think he's called a white man in society. I call him Caucasian. But he says, frankly, I think as white Trump should not be, he's ill-suited to be president because he's a blowhard. And I don't see some of the qualities that would be a president of the United States. Here's a white man that is coaching the #1 team in the NBA over the last couple of years. Okay, they've been the best team whether they lost the championship to Cleveland or not. They've been the marquee status. A white man criticizing bigotry in the United States. Big C, that gives me so much hope when white guys that know they benefit from racism and discrimination in that good old boy network, when a white man will say to other white men, that's wrong. You don't have to be Dr. King to tell people what's right and wrong. And I've always told you, sports will bring our country together. And to have a white man and Coach Kerr that coaches black athletes, he says things that will protect their kids if we can weed out this homogenous racism that a lot of good old boys can have and still get a job in the #4 media market in the country. Big C, your thoughts?
Well, Jonathan, there are so many people out there that take the stance of a Steve Kerr. But the media stays away from that story because it's too temperate, okay?
Yeah.
They don't want to touch anything that hot. That white society, people that are prominent, are taking a stand saying that white society is wrong.
Yeah.
For what they're doing to others.
Yeah.
And it's evident. I mean, news stations, Charlton, show it. But it's always, well, there had to be some reason why he did that.
Yeah.
Okay? It's always a reason why the guy of color gets shot, okay? And the guy that's white doesn't get shot. There's some reason for that. And I'll tell you, it's like the war on drugs in America. Okay,
Yeah.
Charlton?
Yeah.
Minorities use marijuana, okay?
Yeah.
A natural herb from the earth.
There's a lot more Caucasians that use it too, I'll tell you that, Big C.
Has not been chemically treated.
Yeah.
But if you look right now in America, Charlton, on average in America, there's over 270 Caucasians dying monthly from heroin overdose. Okay?
Yeah, I know, it's a shame.
And these are upper suburban people, Charlton. We're not talking about street people, homeless people, people that are living in alleys. We're talking about suburban America.
Middle class, yeah.
The guy who looks like the guy that's doing the news.
Yeah.
The woman that's doing the news. So it's a quiet epidemic in America.
Yeah.
Because they're your neighbor. They're the ones who live in the $500,000 $1 million houses, Charlton.
Yeah.
And so people don't want to say anything about Jack and Jenny down the street.
Yeah.
You know, they overdose.
Yeah.
They want to keep that quiet. Matter of fact, there was an airline pilot about a month ago. I was watching the news that they found he and his wife deceased in their home.
Yeah.
This guy was an airline pilot. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
They had 2 young kids, but they found the parents deceased in the home from drug overdose.
Wow. And see.
And now this is a guy who's flying Americans across the country, Charles.
Yeah.
But he was white. He was white. Okay.
Yeah.
So he was looked at differently. So I'm gonna assume that they do drug test pilots.
Yeah.
But this guy OD'd in his home. Think about if he'd have shot up in the bathroom on a plane.
Yeah.
And did that.
Yeah. And see, that point you bring up, that war on drugs that was started by Ronald Reagan, actually Nixon started it earlier. It was to massively incarcerate black men. Unless you're an athlete, then you're going to have a pass because they'll try to get you into the sport to make them some money for the school or for the pro leagues, Big C. But I just think I'm so proud of intelligent people. I love being around smart people because I learned something. I read a lot, so I'm what they call erudite, and I know you're erudite, but you do it with moonshine. I do it natural. I don't have that chemical dependency on Mother Earth that you good old boys do down south. But I'm so serious about this issue because there would be no Muhammad Ali if you just wanted dumb people around. He was intelligent man. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, one of the most intelligent athletes in the history of the world. He's not a sycophant. Bill Russell, not a sycophant. I'm so proud of Colin Kaepernick, but I do want to jump on this thought that came out of the so-called sports leader. They make a living on interviewing black guys, okay? They kiss their butts, they get in their face, hey, please, Mr. Whatever, can I have the interview? Hey, man, you're really cool, you're really neat, groovy, and all that stuff. As soon as they hear a cause that will protect the kids, those black men when they don't have a jersey, like the coach right now, Coach Brown for Golden State, when I get pulled over or surrounded by 5 police cars just going over to the Coliseum. That stuff happens to the average kid. They don't have $1 million lawyer. They don't have access to media that can say, hey, you know what, I'm really innocent. And so these good old boys that make a joke of it, they make light of it, but they smile and grin in your face. And I've worked with some of them. You just can't bring that garbage to me because I'll shout you out on it. I'll call you out on the air. But I'm so proud of Coach Kerr for having the gall that a lot of men don't have, black or white, to just say what's fair. That's what Dr. King was. And that's what Big C Sports will forever be. It's not just about reading the score. If you're just a dumb person, you want to know the score, just turn to another station. Last thing I'll get on this, Big C. One of the interviewers asked this gentleman named Dave up in Seattle Seahawks about Colin Kaepernick. And his dumb question was this. Well, some people wrote articles and said if you hire Colin Kaepernick, they won't buy a ticket to a game. I don't think the Seattle Seahawks are trying to recruit the KKK to come to the games, Big C. Our good old boys who believe in that garbage. And I'm so proud of the Caucasian radio guy. He said, we don't want those people anyway. We're here to win. Okay, Colin Kaepernick took a good cause, and it helped a lot of people. Now, the guys in the Bay Area that are too dumb to see that, they know it's true, but they're just part of that Klan mentality that has behind a suit and tie, Big C. I just want to get your thoughts on that again, how we got to keep pushing that forward, because you can't say you love Muhammad Ali if you sit back and watch injustice happen anywhere. Your thoughts?
Well, Charles, when I look at the Pacific Northwest, and I look at the education level, I look at the economic level, I look at the eclectic level of people who live there. You know, Colin Kaepernick would be welcome with open arms. So many people live up there that have different ways of life, different thoughts on society.
Yeah.
You know, if you go to the Midwest states where, you know, Donald Trump won with glory, you know, I don't think he would fit with the Kansas City Chiefs.
No.
Okay?
No.
A team like that, because of where they are. And you also look at the racial divide in Missouri. So, you know, he wouldn't be a fit there.
Yeah.
But, you know, Colin Kaepernick will be an asset to an NFL team. If it's Seattle, he'll be a great asset to them. Think about the dual strength that they'll have at quarterback.
Yeah.
They can bring him in to relieve Russell Wilson on third down plays.
Yeah.
He offers that dual threat because he's a better runner than Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
So he gives that offense another option. But when you think about the stupidity in sports, okay?
Yeah.
That has ostracized so many great black athletes, that has devoided the fans of the opportunity to see these tremendous performers, because you get some political person saying, well, we don't want him around.
Yeah, the Archie Bunker type.
Think about it. It's the same damn political person that doesn't create jobs for you, okay?
Yep.
Who makes your life tougher, who does nothing to benefit you, but he's helped lining his family's pockets and his pockets on a worldwide stage, utilizing your tax dollars to watch his family in New York because his wife doesn't want to live in the White House.
Yep.
Because a black family lives there before her, so she doesn't want to go there.
Yep.
Anybody can say, well, it's about my kids finishing school. Every president in the past, Charlton, that has had children have found a way to move to Washington, D.C. with their family and find a quality school in the D.C. area, Charlton. I think they have some of the greatest private schools in the country.
Oh, yeah, of course. Okay? Yeah.
So to say that education is not available, there's schools, prep schools in D.C. that you're going to spend $50,000 a year for your child to go to. We're talking about grammar school. We're not talking about high school.
Yeah.
We're talking about grammar and middle school, Charlton.
Yeah.
So to say that that's not available, there's other reasons. But as a country, when it starts at the leader of the free world, being the biggest racist in our country, and his cabinet follows suit, you have to look at his entire cabinet, Charlton, and find me two people on his cabinet that is not racist. The Attorney General, the Vice President, Secretary of everything else.
Yeah.
They all are, Charlton.
They all
and chosen by him. They're his buddy.
Yeah, and they all have.
Buddy of Donald Trump.
Yeah. They all have that eugenic look. I don't know if it's inbred or what it comes from, but they all look the same. Or maybe they all go to the parlor and get the hair and eyebrows bleached out, Big C. But it looks nothing like the United States of America. And that's a shame, especially coming from California. And I know segregation still exists. I mean, people can, if you're raised by two bigoted parents, they're going to have bigoted children. I understand that. Not too many people are conscious enough to be decent enough to read and educate themselves. All life came from the African continent. I don't care if you're a dumb or smart person. Google Dr. Leakey and Google Gregor Mendel. Just Google it. That little blue G on your phone, Google it, okay? All life came from the African continent. But when it comes to people in the United States, I love what we do with sports. And I'm telling you, sports, the Big C Sports Show has been emulated by so many people all over the country, Big C, and I hear it when I watch other people talk. The last thing I want to say that I think is important too, we had this thing on Tom Brady, who was, I guess, whether he had a concussion or not. He can't remember if he defended the football or not. Maybe that's part of why he can't remember the concussion thing. His wife, Giselle, comes out and speaks on concussion. It's already an old issue. There's already lawsuits pending for that. I think Holly Robinson Pete, she came out and talked. Her husband, Pete, Rodney Pete, played in the NFL also. And so we're trying to get more and more actresses talking about concussion. But when Tom Brady's wife, Giselle, talks about it, it got headlines, but it's already an old issue. I mean, as an athlete, Tom Brady's a great athlete. As a person of substance, he's ignorant. Okay, I don't appreciate ignorant people. I don't care who he is, but he does nothing for anyone outside of himself. And he never said a thing about Black Lives Matter. I don't know why that people put make him a paragon of virtue. He's really not. I'd love to see him do more. I think even Beast Mode for the Bay Area has done more for poor kids than Tom Brady, but Tom Brady gets that first-class treatment. And so I just want to touch on that. I'm really proud of the wives who are coming out speaking about the CTE issue. It's something we really got to look into. But Big C, I want to touch a little bit on the NBA after I say the sponsorship. Yeah. Yeah.
The first wife that really came out about the CTE issue, okay?
Yeah.
For her husband, was the late John Mackey's wife. For years, she fought with the NFL because they just said it was Alzheimer's.
Oh, really?
John Mackey had.
Yeah.
And we're talking about back in the 80s when his wife was fighting this, when he had to be put into a nursing home because he could no longer care for himself.
Yeah.
And John, he looked like Ali. Looked like he had Parkinson's also. He had no memory.
Yeah.
He couldn't even remember playing in the NFL. Now,
wow.
It's nice to say that Tom Brady had concussions. But think about how many other quarterbacks that get hit more than Tom Brady. Colin Kaepernick, you got to tell me he hadn't suffered concussions?
Yeah.
We know Aaron Rodgers has had several.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But Tom Brady, because his wife speaks out, all of a sudden now he's going to become the poster boy for concussions.
No, it's a joke.
How many black running backs are there in the NFL, Charlton?
A lot.
How many of them have not had a concussion?
Yeah.
How many black receivers have gone over the middle, Charlton, and been lit up by a strong safety?
Yeah.
Okay? And not had a concussion? How many linebackers are beating these running backs in the hole or guard this bullet and not had a concussion?
Yeah.
So to tell me that Tom Brady had a concussion last year, I don't give a damn. Okay?
No, not at all.
There were more quarterbacks that had concussions than him. But to put Tom Brady up to represent the NFL,
it's a joke.
Injuries, Charlton.
Yeah.
That's a bunch of crap.
No.
And his wife shouldn't have got that much credence in the media because there have been black wives, Charlton, for decades talking about their husband's situation. Think about the players that have lost their lives because of concussions, Charles. Okay?
Yeah.
They're family members. I hate the NFL who wanted not let the late Junior Seau's daughter.
Oh yeah.
At his enshrinement
in Canton, Ohio. Yeah.
Because they thought she might say something bad about concussions and the loss of her dad.
Yeah.
Okay? But you're going to shun this young lady, and her dad had one opportunity left to be put on the world stage and the NFL stage, but you honored Giselle over Tom Brady, who never took the punishment of a Junior Seau.
And never took a stance to be conscious about anything political or social that would benefit poor black and white kids. All he talked about was, let's go. So I don't have a lot of respect for Tom. He's been given a platitude of opportunities, and he just says nothing. He's just one of those intellectually vapid athletes, and I hope that he can prove everybody wrong by making a stance on something other than who took my jersey. I can't find my jersey, Big C. I want to say that sports is a billion-dollar industry, and boys and girls sports is the foundation to this billion-dollar industry. You need athletic and event insurance when you play sports, and we go through Ben and Mark on the iHeartRadio network through Big C Sports. We cover your professional athletes, collegiate athletes, also your mom and pop soccer league. So clear out to Big C Sports on the iHeartRadio network. If you need insurance, we definitely will get you covered. So Big C, I wanted to bring up this point. In the NBA tonight, we know Golden State playing your good boys down in San Antonio, and I'm telling you, I hate when you have a long layoff. Whether Kawhi Leonard's healthy or not, Golden State's just the better team. As a long-seen person, a person that's prescient enough to see into the future, I would think that Coach Pop would just keep Kawhi Leonard on the bench. They're not going to win this series anyway. He did it back in the day. I think when it was Duncan got injured and he took him out. Next year is where you're going to have the chance to get better again. You're not going to beat Golden State. Does it make sense that you play him or not? He's just going to get hurt again, Big C. Your thoughts?
Benefit the team in any kind of way. He could never be 100% the rest of the playoffs, even if they were to advance.
Yeah.
He would constantly be hobbled by that ankle, Charlton. So Kawhi Leonard is not going to make a difference right now. Not many things are going to make a difference against Golden State until they start playing Cleveland. All right? So right now, they're just a juggernaut.
Yeah.
But when you think about Klay Thompson being your fourth option on your offense, how deep are you, Charlton?
Yeah.
You know, that's how strong they are right now. They fear nothing.
Yeah.
Even Cleveland coming into town eventually. There's no fear there on Golden State's behalf.
No.
They're just going to shoot the basketball, Charlton. They're going to play their game. LeBron is going to get his. People know that.
Yeah.
Okay? When LeBron wants to score, LeBron can score. There's no stopping him. It's just now the Golden State can have a big man in the playoffs that can clog up the center a little bit.
Yeah.
He may use a technical foul or two on LeBron, but that fear factor will not be there this year with Golden State and LeBron.
Well, Big C, yeah.
It's just a marvelous game, you know, when you think about it. San Antonio, Pop's a team.
Yeah.
And if, you know, Pop cares about his players.
Yeah.
And if he sits down Kawhi Leonard, Charlton, it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
If he plays him, it's the okay thing to do.
Yeah.
But as you stated, they're not going to beat Golden State in this series. Golden State is up 2-0. We'll be 3-0 when the night is over, Charles.
And we're Big C, and we know that. And so obviously, it's a great game. I love the NBA. And one thing that I'm really proud about, I tell you, I grew up around so much diversity in California. I knew so many people of different backgrounds and hues and colors, but I've always respected smart people because I read a lot. There's nothing like arguing with a dumb person. You realize the more you talk to them, the more dumb you become. So it's just point them out, lead them to a book, let them read, okay? But when I look at Coach Pop and I look at what Steve Kerr has done, isn't it something that the quality of these men has led their teams to the top of the NBA? I'm not just talking this year, Big C. I'm talking about the last 20 years for Coach Pop and Steve Kerr. His whole life, you know, what happened is I think it's had a family tragedy with his parents. But I'm telling you, the man is a solid individual. And to have people like that being the head coaches for great NBA teams, it's not surprising to me that they have two of the top organizations in the league. And I'm so proud of white men, okay, that will stand up for black men against this police brutality, criminal justice complex garbage we have going on in the United States of America. The stop and frisk mentality. They're not stopping and frisking white kids. They're not doing that. It's about locking up black boys because prisons are privatized and they make money. So if you're not playing sports, you're more valuable as a black boy sometimes to the criminal justice system. And that's a shame to say that, but I can't be a dumb sycophant, so I got to point it out. But I do want to say again, congratulations. I'm so proud for the white people in our society that are decent enough to help stamp out racism. We can't do it just as black Americans. The same way, we can't just count on women to cut out discrimination and sexism. It's going to take men and women. And so I just appreciate the conscious people who do right and say right because we want our kids to have a better country. Big C, speaking of that, Kevin Love dropping 32 points. I'm telling you, he's a good player. He's not a star player when it compares to LeBron James or Kyrie Irving, but he's a good, solid number 3 player for the Cavaliers. Your thoughts, Big C?
Well, that was a career playoff high for him, Charlton. He dropping that, and he was 6 from 9 from the point range.
Yeah.
It really made a difference in that game because everyone else on the Cavaliers roster struggled, from the 3-point range.
Yeah.
But, this is something that they didn't have last year is Kevin Love.
Yeah.
Because they had the shoulder injury. And they still went on to win the championship.
Yeah.
So he's going to be an integral part as Cleveland moves along. But Boston just seemed to be a lackluster team that had no motivation. You think Isaiah Thomas only scored 18 points in that game.
Yeah.
A playoff low. Normally he has that many in the first half, Charlton.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to find a way tonight, not to just sit out and live on the 3. And that's what they were doing against Cleveland, trying to live on the 3-point shot.
Yeah. Well, LeBron James and the good old boys, they're a different breed of cat. And no matter how dominant LeBron James is, they have a history of being there. Like an athlete, what do you look for? Unless you're the NFL, you're looking for athletes who have been there. For example, if you're an NFL franchise and you're looking for a quarterback that can lead you to the Super Bowl, doesn't it make sense that you find one that's already been there, Big C? That's what Kaepernick has been. But to a lot of good old boys, that doesn't make any sense to them. So they'll find guys that have won 5 games in the last 2 years, and they'll say, that's our guy. That's the guy we want. If you look at what's happening to LeBron James, his mindset is NBA Finals or nothing. It's a lot like Michael Jordan. When Michael Jordan hit they got their first world championship, that's all they talked about, even though they talked about it before. He had to get to the bad boys and also Boston, okay? They had some guys who also had that mentality. When you look at LeBron James, he's so passionate. I think I have the same kind of passion he has, but he happens to be a little bit taller and stronger than me, so that's why I'm not wearing his jersey, Big C. But I'll tell you, I can sing the national anthem like he can't, Big C. But his mentality of always being there, can't you align him with the great players like a Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, all them good old boys, they always ended their season, it seemed, in an NBA Finals, Big C. Your thoughts?
Well, Charlton, I remember the first championship team I was on professional.
Yeah.
And, you had so many teammates, they were happy being there.
Just being there.
They were enjoying the week and all of that, even when the game started.
Yeah.
They were happy being in the game. We found ourselves down at halftime.
Yeah.
A few of us walked in there and told those guys, no dads, we call them on the team, no sisters, what the game was all about.
Yeah.
You may never come back again.
Yeah.
And woke some people up at halftime, Charlton. We didn't give up any points in the second half, and that was the difference.
Yeah.
But, and you see that so often with guys that make the playoffs. We've seen great players throughout history in all sports.
Yeah.
Who never got to a championship game. You think about hockey, we got the NHL playoffs going on now. Wayne Gretzky wins 5 up in Edmonton, okay?
Oh, yeah.
He comes to Edmonton, to Los Angeles, never wins again. He got there once, was in finals, but the team was so happy about being there because they had Wayne. They thought Wayne would win them a championship.
Yeah.
And they ended up losing. So you never know when you get this opportunity to get to this level, Charlton, in professional sports, that you may not cross this path again. I remember Dan Marino.
Yeah.
In his second year in the NFL, playing in the Super Bowl against the 49ers.
Yeah.
Joe Montana, Jody Hope was the best quarterback in the NFL at the time.
Yeah.
All right? And everybody said, don't worry about it, Dan will be back again.
Yeah.
He'll be back any more times. Over a second.
Yeah. It's called a media pass. I understand. I tell you, Big C, there's something about the world of sports. I met a boxer up here in Northern California. I won't say his name. We were talking about the Conor McGregor and Floyd Money Mayweather fight. Will that fiasco happen down in Las Vegas? If there's enough money, of course it's going to happen because Las Vegas and Los Angeles, it's all show business. no one really cares what really happens. In fact, just keeping it real as we always do, people who win fights oftentimes is based on who Las Vegas wants to win that fight. I wouldn't be surprised if they had him fight, even though it's going to be a boxing style, Big C. If they have McGregor win, so they can have let's take advantage of the public part 2, Big C. Your thoughts?
Charlton, you always got to do that for the sequel.
Yeah.
And that's where the money is. It's just like the trifecta that's getting ready to happen with Golden State and Cleveland.
Yeah.
Think about the marketing of the NBA, with the merchandising.
Yeah.
That's going to come out on this game. It's just like the Cleveland won it last year. Golden State had already won. There was no money left in Golden State merchandise.
Yeah.
But the market put Cavalier merchandise. That was going to be a worldwide phenomenon because James wore that product.
Yeah.
So, when you look at what teams and sports create, Charlton, as far as making money outside just the game.
Yeah.
The marketing people in professional sports are the keenest people around. That's the reason why you see jerseys change all the time, uniforms change.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the marketing. They bought all of those. The sales are slowed down. Let's tint the color a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's change the logo. They'll buy that because you want to have the latest. You don't want to be outdated.
Yeah.
The modern thing. But, when you think about this game and these series that are going on, you would hope that the Celtics would be more competitive.
Yeah.
But it also just shows you the dominance of an organization. And the thing that I look at more than anything else is Tyronn Lue, Charles.
Yeah.
Not giving any credit as a coach. All right, the Cleveland Cavaliers will be up 2-0, in the series if they win tonight.
Yeah.
If they do that, LeBron James is 20-0 on teams that he's run up 2-0 in the series on, okay?
Wow.
He doesn't lose. But Tyronn Lue, he's not even an afterthought with the media.
Yeah.
He's an African-American coach. But Bradley Stevens gets more airtime
for losing
than what Tyronn does.
Yeah.
Boston, Bradley Stevens gets more time than Tyronn Lue. This is the defending Indian coach.
Yeah.
Mike Brown gets no airtime, okay?
Yeah.
He's with the two-time NBA finals team.
Yeah.
In Golden State, even though he's an interim coach. And I'm not knocking Pop. Pop deserves what he gets.
Yeah.
But they don't even mention Mike Brown on the bench in Golden State.
Oh, no, they
American coaches in the semifinals, Charlie.
You know what they said out here in the ironically, what they said out here in the Bay Area, I think they call themselves the sports leader, but they were saying, can Mike Brown cost the Golden State Warriors a championship because he doesn't have experience? They're too dumb to realize he was just in the NBA Finals with the Cleveland Cavaliers, also a Big C.
LeBron James to his first finals.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't read, they don't know that. Yeah.
Don't we always say these are the ESPN guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's not a long issue with LeBron James. We're talking about a decade.
Yeah, that's funny.
These guys don't even know the NBA from 10 years ago. Then Mike Brown has been to the NBA Finals as a head coach.
Yeah.
And he's coaching in your city, and you're too damn dumb and too
That's funny. I just think that's incredible. Big C, we know we have a lot of things going on in the world of sports. Before we touch a little bit on baseball, we know we predicted last time in the Kentucky Derby. In fact, you predicted that Always Dreaming the horse would win. I have no idea how you know who's going to win. How you know a horse is going to win a race, Big C? So whatever contacts you have through that moonshine supply, what do you call it when you own it's called a franchise. That moonshine franchise you guys got going down south, I wanted some of that piece of the action. We're looking at the 2017 Preakness Stakes. We have multiplier, cloud computing, hints. Always Dreaming. Is he going to do it again, Big C? Always Dreaming in there again.
Think about it. Always Dreaming. Always dreaming on the field.
Yeah.
And so you got a president.
Yeah.
Always dreaming up the next line.
Yeah, that's funny.
Trifecta with the horse. You got the horse always dreaming. You got the president always dreaming up the next line.
Yeah.
Jay Cutler was always in La La Land. If a quarterback was ever concussed, I don't know if Jay Cutler's ever come out.
Yeah, he's still playing it, but
all the time.
It got him a job on network television. And then we have a Classic Empire. This is just a couple of the term of the art, a senior investment, looking at league. I'm just going to go with Always Dreaming to have a repeat. Who knows? I mean, horses tend to have a lot more clout.
He does not win. It's a useless race.
Yeah.
The thing that makes the Belmont relevant is that you have a horse that has won the Kentucky and the
That's so funny.
Belmont Stakes relevant.
Yeah. Now that's funny, Big C. I just want to touch on something also. There was just an article that a gentleman who watched the movie 42 with Jackie Robinson's wife and Rachel, and obviously we talk about Jackie Robinson, what he meant to the world of sports, and as we close out on today's program, Big C, I'm just so proud of our society that reads black and white. We know we like to hear equality, liberty, and justice for all because Dr. King, he gave his life for us, all Americans, to have an equal opportunity. And so when I see this garbage going on in the White House, it's a shame that Dr. King lost his life for that homogenous garbage where everybody looks the same. There's no equality anywhere. I just think that's a shame for America, United States of America. It's almost like they just want to go back to those days. I guess that's Donald Trump did say he wanted to make America great again, but what a shame. But I want to just get your thoughts on what Jackie Robinson did again for sports. And we talk about basketball, we talk about football, we talk about everything. The NHL, we touch on politics. But it just reminded me of something. When the Bay Area media guy today was slamming Colin Kaepernick's stance on defending Black Lives Matter, they called it anti-troops, which was a garbage, it's a farce. It was about Black Lives Matter. Jackie Robinson went through the same garbage. He was being hated on by media and by fan base as well as other teams. Now, most of the people that hated him happen to be Caucasian. So why is that they're never told to get the hell out of the country or go back to Europe when they have such enmity for black Americans? And now good old boys will get a job in radio saying the same old garbage. Big C, your thoughts?
People talk about Jackie Robinson in sports, okay, Jonathan?
Yeah.
Jackie Robinson served in World War II.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And yet he couldn't get a job beyond sports in America.
Wow.
You think about that. He for white America in World War II, but white America would not employ him.
Wow.
So the only employment he could have was playing Negro League baseball for a long time.
Yeah.
You think about many blacks, Charlton, that had fought for this country. World War II, let's go back to the Civil War.
Yeah.
Many slaves gave their lives for a country that didn't care about them. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
That abused him, and abused him in life, and abused him after life. You think about the African Americans who fought in Vietnam, Charlton, that Ali lost his title over because he wasn't going to kill people dancing around the world that he didn't know and didn't know him.
Yeah.
Okay? But black Americans came back from Vietnam and were treated just like any other blacks who were treated in the 60s, Charlton.
Yeah.
Didn't get any, welcome home parades. They didn't get a ticket tape parade. Just like black athletes, Charlton, to take a stand, such as Colin Kaepernick, Muhammad Ali, Tommy Hines, Lee Evans, and the list goes on, Charlton.
Yeah.
Many black athletes have taken social stances over time. And white society said, why can't you just go out and be a good old boy and play the game and be quiet?
Yeah.
Okay? But it's not like that. Life is not that simple. From a white perspective, if there's a bully picking on your kid at school, are you comfortable with that? Would you be okay if you had a little kid coming home every day? He's a 5th grader, and you got this 8th grader picking on him every day, beating him up. Come home, black eye, busted lip, bloody nose. Would you be comfortable with that from a white society perspective?
No.
That's what it's been like as an African American growing up in America.
Yeah.
You're picked on by bullies every day in every level of society, whether it's in the corporate world, whether it's in the sports world, whether it's just in the social world. That's what it's like. If white people want to have a comparison, have a little undersized 5th-year-old 10th grader in your house. Have some big, strong 8th grader picking on them every day. And see how you feel as a parent not being able to protect your child. That's what it's like for the most part of African Americans throughout American history. Not being able to protect yourself or your family.
And Big C, that's so poignant to say that because outside of Big C Sports, a lot of black guys that get jobs with the major networks, they're afraid to say anything. In fact, they'll laugh at every dumb joke they hear from the white counterpart because they want to make the white guy feel comfortable. The hell with feeling comfortable, just be honest. There's enough decent people that like you when you're intelligent. If people think you're stupid, they don't respect stupid people. I mean, I heard Rush Limbaugh talking. A lot of people say Rush is right. Right about what? Being a bigot and a fascist? I haven't seen him exercise so much than jumping up and down in his chair, and he was sweating with the fan on. They need to do drug testing in corporate America when they get us on the radios, Big C. I'm telling you, they might find something going on. Yeah.
We used to be friends.
Okay. Yeah. I understand. They always go after athletes Go up to some of the broadcasters that talk about athletes. But again, I was just so passionate. You know, I'm a passionate person, and people say, Charlton, why are you so passionate? Well, I love being passionate because I'm real. I don't have time to try to think about, well, what I'm going to say. I learned being around aggressive people who spoke the truth. And I tell you, you're so bold and so honest about a lot of things. I'm just proud when I hear coaches like Steve Kerr validating what we're saying in the white community. When I hear people like Coach Pop validating what we're saying in the white community, because they'll listen to them. They may try to say that we're just kind of angry black guys. We're not angry. We're very well read and very intelligent. Charles Barkley did that study on TNT. And it just goes back to something I'm so passionate about, because we got to leave something for the world as we're gone. The banks were not lending money to black Americans. At the same time, we had the criminal justice system, and Ronald Reagan, and even back in the day, the good old boy who got impeached, they were trying to do this war on drugs, which is to get more minorities people incarcerated for these prisons that are privatized by white institutions. That's a fact. And that's why we tell young black kids, get an education. Don't worry about being the next star athlete. Big C, you do it as bold as anybody ever heard, outside of Muhammad Ali. Okay, so I just want to get your thoughts again as we get into the world of sports, and we're all going to watch the NBA games tonight. We're going to see what LeBron can do. We're going to see what Curry can do, and Kawhi, will he play or not. At the end of the day, Coach Kerr and Coach Pop, they know that life goes on. And I'm proud of them educating society about treating people fair. We always talk about no reason for domestic abuse. No woman should ever be battered by any man, period. We don't have to have a woman stand up and fight for herself. How about the men of society come up and let's put an end to that garbage? Don't just leave any racism up to black Americans or any sexism up to women. If you have a decent heart and you're intelligent, if you're a stupid person, I understand. Just keep drinking beer and watching the game. But for the intelligent people, what legacy will we leave? That we got a job on the radio and we talked about who won a game? Or did we plant something in someone's mind to say, you know what? We can be a little bit of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It might be uncomfortable, but as long as you're right, you're going to find people who are on your side. Big C, your thoughts?
Charlton, you got to look at who created sexism and who created racism in America.
Yeah, yeah.
White males.
Yeah.
White males created both of those.
Yep.
White males have treated women cruelly throughout the history of America, okay?
Yeah.
Regardless of the race. They've treated them cruelly. They have treated minorities cruelly throughout the history of America. So when you talk about things of that nature and those stances, you have to just turn and look in one direction.
Yeah.
And see why these things were created and see how they're perpetuated.
Yeah.
When we look at society and we talk about things are not equal in America, it's because one side holds the key to all of it, y'all.
Yeah.
White America, they're the politicians, the law enforcement, they're the people who give and take away opportunity on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And they do it just like they're pushing away apples and salad away from them at lunch, okay?
Yeah.
That's how they think about people that are not like them.
Yep.
We see that all the time. And so when you want to talk about equality, when you want to have white Americans saying that Colin Kaepernick was the reason for whatever problems that the NFL had, no, he was not. You didn't have to pay attention to Colin Kaepernick because you didn't have any social thoughts of your own. So you wanted to blame this young man for what he was standing for because it hurt you because you recognized the bigotry and the racism within your own heart.
Yeah.
So you wanted to ostracize Colin Kaepernick and demonize him because he took a stance against what you believed in. And so that hurt so many people, Charlton.
Yeah.
It wasn't that he stood against troops. He praised the troops like many of us do.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
All those people that said Colin Kaepernick stood against the troops, how many of them have had family members that have sacrificed their lives? How many of them have lined up for armed services? All those people in the media, Charlton, that classic Colin Kaepernick, saying that he stood up against the troops, not one of them, just like the President of the United States, has ever put on a military uniform of any kind, Charlton.
And if they wanted to, they could still enlist today. Big C, in the final few minutes of our program, I know we talk about the Koch brothers trying to get through Trump's agenda because they want the tax breaks, these billionaires. They don't mind cutting out, food programs for poor people. They don't mind tampering with Social Security for the elderly, for all of our grandparents. They just want to pay fewer money in taxes. I guess they call it trickle-down economics. If they have more money, they're going to create more jobs. We know that's not the truth, Big C. I just want to get you to close out today's program, and I love Big C Sports. I love our passion. I'm a little bit more high-strung than you are because I don't do the moonshine, but I think my delivery's coming in the mail today, Big C. I keep running to the mail. They say it's not here yet, Big C, but I'm looking forward to that. But I love this country. I love it so much, and I love and appreciate everyone that's ever fought for this country. I love the freedom that we have to not be like Russia, to not be like the former Soviet Union. I love that we're not North Korea, that we're not China, that you cannot speak your mind and speak your freedom. But I hate the fact that when the African Americans do it, there's still some good old boys that are in the system that try to shout down the black voice, and that's also in the Kerner Commission, which was issued by Lyndon Baines Johnson. That wasn't Colin Kaepernick that issued that report. Just Google it for you smart people with smartphones. Google the Kerner Commission and see if what Colin Kaepernick talked about was also first talked about a half a century ago through Lyndon Baines Johnson's findings. We can make this country great through sports. I believe we'll do our part with the sports world. I believe that's black and white and brown and yellow and red, and all of us get together and realize what we have in common if we're not afraid of the sycophants, if we're not afraid of the bad guys, okay? The ones who want bigotry, the ones who want sexism and racism. If we speak up against them the same way Dr. King did, I think we can make the future better for everybody. That's why I give the Universal Coach of the Year award to Coach Pop and also Steve Kerr, because as white men, they can be like the average guy and say nothing and just go drink a beer and say, yeah, those guys complaining about something, and then go buy a $100 ticket to see you play the game to drop 40 points. So as we close out, Big C, just your thoughts to Bay Area media. You're down in the South where Jim Crow may be illegal, but sometimes it's still in the hearts of people. Well, I find that we still have it out here in California. It's just they wear a suit and tie, and they hide behind, hey, pal, I'm a liberal. Your thoughts on how we can cut through that garbage and let people shake hands and drink bread. Shake hands and drink bread, that's not possible. But eat bread and drink moonshine at the same table. Big C, your thoughts.
Prevalent in other areas of the country.
Yeah.
Because you got the separation. You talk about it in the Bay Area society. You know, the Kaepernick issue became a black-white issue.
Yeah.
Even though he was just talking about Black Lives Matter, the media made it a black-white issue. And
yeah.
They made it a black-white issue in a negative way.
Yeah.
They wanted to tarnish this man's career. But when you look at quarterbacks, they were out there in the free agent market. Colin Kaepernick ranked in the top 3 in the NFL last year, Charlton.
Yeah.
Touchdown to interception ratio.
Yeah.
As a quarterback. And yet people were saying his career was washed up because he was on a pathetic team. Now, I tell you, in the last 2 years, Charlton, does anybody know any receiver that Colin Kaepernick was throwing the football to? Does anyone know? Think about that.
Yeah.
You think about the quarterbacks out there. Does anybody know the name of any of the receivers that Colin Kaepernick was throwing the football to in the last 2 years? You know, there's one I remember, Troy Smith.
Troy Smith, yeah.
Other than that, no one.
Yeah.
Okay? So when you think about all these other quarterbacks that had the same touchdown ratio that he had, touchdown interception ratio, they had receivers that you knew about. Some of them were in the Pro Bowl, Charlton.
Yeah.
So you think about a young man carrying a team. Just as he's carrying the weight of society on his shoulders, and he didn't ask to.
No.
Okay? But he took a stance. And this is what people of positive mindsets need to do.
Yeah.
It would be nice to see white society look at society like Colin Kaepernick does. Saying that we need equality for all, okay? No injustice, just equality.
Yeah.
Treat others like you want to be treated. I was watching the news this evening, and I watched the police chase this young man across the street from a Walmart, African-American man, 2 white cops. He stopped once he got across the street.
Yeah.
These 2 cops jumped on him, tackled him, and while they're down on the ground, they're pummeling this young man. They could have easily cuffed him up. He wasn't resisting.
Yeah.
He stopped, like they asked him to.
Yeah.
They jumped on him. They were punching him while he's down on the ground. Being videotaped on someone's phone.
Yeah.
But the police report that they turned in said he was resisting, that he had punched an officer. They felt threatened. They beat the man up. They sprayed him and all these things. This is what society does. This is what the sports world does. It's like when I was saying Tyronn Lue, Mike Brown. Mike Brown gets pulled over the other night going to work.
Yeah.
An NBA head coach gets pulled over by the police. Several police, not one, several. Because he's trying to get to work in a peaceful fashion.
Yeah.
He's trying to drive into the arena. But he was driving while black, trying to get into the arena.
Yeah.
They didn't care that he was a coach. He He was black. That's all that matters. Tyronn Lue gets no mention. He has the second best team in the East, yes, but he has the best team in the Eastern playoffs. Bradley gets all the mention, the Boston head coach.
Yeah.
How great a job he's doing. Tyronn Lue wearing an NBA championship ring, Charles.
Well, Big C.
Mike Brown's wearing the NBA Finals ring.
Yeah.
Two African-American coaches not getting any credit.
Well, Big C, as it comes to a close, and I love Big C Sports. There's a reason we're the number one sports show in the universe, and a lot of people emulate what we do. They just can't do it as bold, Big C. I just want to go back a little bit. When I started the business back in '96, I worked with a guy in the Bay Area, and I see him on the sidelines with the Los Angeles Lakers doing some television work. And I'll never forget that he told me this story as I was giving him a ride across the Bay Bridge from San Francisco going to the Oakland Coliseum. It was a game for CBS Sports. And we were just talking, and he just said something about a lot of the black guys, if they weren't playing in the NBA, they'd be in prison. And I said, what the hell are you talking about? He said, well, I'm just saying. Because for a while he thought I was a white guy that he could talk that way to. And as I explained some things to him about how he's stupid for saying that, and he said, well, okay. But it didn't cost him having a job on network television, because someplace in the society, that attitude is still prevalent. That's why it's going to take white guys to shout it out, unless they agree with it like a Donald Trump. They may just agree with it like a Rush Limbaugh. But Coach Kerr, Coach Pop, I hope that you can encourage other people to speak your mind. Let's have liberty and justice for everybody. Men and women, black and white, every culture, every person on the planet. We can create that. Big C Sports will lead it. Big C, as we close in the final minute, what are you looking forward to this weekend? We have horses racing around some dirt fields again. We have some people skating on ice. Listen to that. Horses on dirt fields and men skating on ice. We have men playing on hardwood floors, and then boys hitting baseballs on grass and dirt. Big C, what are you looking forward to this weekend, Big C?
Well, let me tell you something, Jonathan. We got this huge barbecue pit in my backyard.
Sounds good to me.
I'm looking forward to some great hockey this weekend, Charles.
Yeah.
NHL is getting close to Lord Stanley's Cup. And when you talk about these grown men skating around on ice, I mean, there's some marvelous competitive two series that we got going on in the Eastern and Western Finals, Charles.
Yeah.
In the NHL with the Predators and the Ducks and the Penguins and the Senators. I look for the Senators to get close to closing out the thing.
Yeah.
The Senators are just a dominant team playing hockey right now, Charles. And they're really representing Canada. And Canada's finally going to have another team in the Stanley Cup. All right?
That means I get to keep singing? I get to keep singing, Big C? Is that what you said?
But, hey, moonshine on ice, man.
Well, with moonshine on ice, we love it all. It's all good. As we always tell you, every Monday through Friday at 5 and 6 p.m. worldwide, follow Big C Sports on the iHeartRadio network, the number one network in the United States of America. And also Big C Sports has been voted the number one sports show in the universe, according to Big C and them good old boys down south. As we always tell you, there's never any excuse for domestic violence. No woman should ever have to go through that garbage. If you see anyone in trouble, just call 911 so the woman doesn't have to go through that garbage on her own. And as we always tell you on every program, we thank you, we appreciate you, and we hope that you have a super fantastic day.